Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, so the rehearsals in Turin have begun for semi-final one, and I wanted to talk about them and tell you what I think about them. We've got TikTok videos, very quick snippets of each country's staging, um, and a very quick snippet of their performance, literally like 5 seconds. But we have an overall idea of the staging for every country from semi-final one. I know there's been lots of talk and concern about the actual stage itself with that big arch at the front and how it kind of gets in the way. Apparently it was broken as well. The rotating arches wouldn't move. I don't know if that's been fixed, or I don't know. There's been a few problems with people staging. But when you look at the actual pictures of the whole stage, it looks great. You know, the stagings are looking great. So I'm sure it will be fine, you know, when we see everything come together, hopefully. So I'm actually thinking of not talking about every single country, but if there is something that I haven't talked about, then feel free to comment below. What do you think about this staging? And I can let you know. But what I'd like to do actually is talk about my favourites, the ones that stood out the most to me, and then things that I'm pleasantly surprised by, and then things that I'm disappointed by. Or maybe not disappointed by, but just something that I can't really see qualifying, something that could be in danger of qualifying. So I probably will end up just talking about most of the countries anyway, to be honest. So from what we've seen, from the tiny bits of information that we've got, one of my favourite stagings, the one that really stands out to me the most, is Greece, Amanda Tengfjord. This looks so good. I mean, I've said before in videos that I think people will start appreciating this more when we get to rehearsals. If the staging is really good, this could be one to watch out for and could climb up in the odds even more. And it's happened. It's true. It's just really impressive. It's just so... Well, first of all, Amanda, her look, I absolutely love. I love her outfit, the silver white dress, I love that. The whole blue and white Greek colours, the staging, I love that. It looks very cinematic, and I think from what we know, the camera angles, I think, will add even more to it. I think there'll be lots of focus on her, but then some wide shots as well. It just looks really spectacular from the pictures that we have. It looks so good. I still think it's a potential winner, definitely, and after seeing the staging, even more so. It looks very promising. So yeah, definitely one of my favourites that we've seen in this semi-final. And another favourite, Ukraine. The song in general and the staging as well. The big favourite, you know, the big favourite to win the whole thing, maybe. I do like how it does look, from what we can see, similar to the national final, but it looks like it's more colourful. The costumes are a bit different, just a bit more colour, but hopefully not too much. I know that some of them are wearing black, yellow and red sort of fringe costumes, and people were saying, oh, is that the German flag? It looks like the German flag. It does look like that, but actually, I didn't know this, but it actually represents the town or city, Kalush, where they come from. And I didn't even know that until now, but that's what that means. Also, from the pictures that we've got, it looks like there's a projection of the blue and yellow Ukrainian colours, like into the audience, coming out of the stage. And that's just one picture. I don't know if that happens at the end of the performance or like throughout the whole performance, but that looks really good. Love that. And like we said before, it's going to be a very special moment on stage. Can't wait. Another favourite of mine, of course, Norway, Subwoofer. It's everything you expected. There was no need for them to change anything at all from the national final, all the performances they've done. It's exactly what you'd expect, with the three dancers, the astronaut in the background, the pyro at the end. Could be even more pyro and fireworks that we saw from Melody Grand Prix, but just even bigger than that. It's going to look great. Again, the pictures look great, you know, with all those wide shots of everything. I mean, I'm sure it could come second in the televote in this semi-final, and very high in the televote in the final overall as well. It looks everything that you'd imagined. It looks great. Something else I'm really impressed by is Austria. Well, the staging looks so good. You know, I'm glad they've stuck with the black and red dark colours. Looks like there's some fire and pyro as well. Visually, it looks great. The only problem is, again, the vocals. You know, will Pia Maria sound good live? That's what we're all still thinking about and hoping for. The TikTok video, you can hear like 5 seconds, so it's not really enough. But the actual staging looks really good. And if she sounds good live as well, on top of that, then hopefully that all comes together and it will be enough for them to get through, hopefully. So those are my main favourites from what we've seen of the semi-final. So Greece, Ukraine, Norway and Austria. And that's in terms of the actual staging. Looks quite promising. I do want to briefly mention the Netherlands before I move on, because I think the song is one of my favourites in the semi-final and just in general overall. But I feel like from what we've seen from the staging, that we can't really get enough from that. I think we need to see more. Camera angles especially, I think, yeah, we need to wait to see more because we're not really getting much information so far. It looks dark, you know, which is what you'd expect. But I do want to see more from the Netherlands and the staging. But I love the song. I'm sure she'll go through. Not just go through, but, you know, do well overall. So I haven't really got much to say about the Netherlands because we're not really getting that much from the pictures and the video, but it looks great. I'm sure it'll be fine. So I want to move on to countries that, from what we've been given, I'm pleasantly surprised by. You know, they look better, even better than I thought they would be. One of them is actually Latvia. This looks really good. It looks so colourful. It kind of makes me think of Iceland 2014, you know, with the colourful suits. Because in the national final, the costumes were kind of like red, green, brown, kind of like orangey, creamy vegetable colours. I think they were actually meant to represent. But now you've got like purple, red, bright yellow, bright green, almost like they're mixing vegetables and fruit as well, even though the song is salad. But it looks like they've added some fruit elements to it. Iceland, again, that looks really good too. I would love Iceland to qualify. I'd like to see that in the final, but this semi-final is so tough. It might just not make it, but there's literally like 13 or 12 songs that I'd like to qualify from the semi-final, but they can't all make it. Definitely a bloodbath semi-final. But Iceland, another one that looks good to me. I like the outfits. It just looks really nice. Would it be enough for them to get through? I don't know, but I'd like it to. I just want to mention Bulgaria. I know this is one of the least popular songs of the whole year, but it looks okay. You know, it doesn't look that bad. I think people were pleasantly surprised when they saw the pictures and the videos of this. I don't think, I'm not saying, oh, it's going to qualify now. It's still not qualifying. Um, but it's not that bad. Like, it looks like there's an effort there. You know, they've got pyro, they've got energy. It doesn't look awful. You know, it might not come like dead last in the semi-final, but I'm not saying it's suddenly good enough to qualify. Um, but I can't lie, like I was pleasantly surprised by how it looks. I think other people were as well. Um, so yeah, not bad. I just want to go back to Latvia. I forgot to mention. I do feel a bit more hopeful about them qualifying now. I feel a bit more positive after seeing their whole performance and staging. It does make me a bit more hopeful that they will qualify. So I forgot to mention that about Latvia. But now I'd like to talk about things that haven't really impressed me, things that I think are just not good enough to go through. One of them, definitely Switzerland. I mean, it's always been my least favourite of the year. And yeah, I still don't think Switzerland are qualifying. And I was actually hoping or thinking that they could elevate this by having an interesting staging and telling a story like in the music video. But they haven't even done that. Like, there's nothing at all on the stage. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Simple, but I mean, the song is so boring, I think, that I thought that they would do something creative with it to kind of make it more interesting, but it looks like they haven't. So, yeah, I just get the impression with Switzerland that they're just not trying at all this year. Like, there's just no effort at all. They're taking a year off, basically. That's how I feel. Kind of like Bulgaria as well. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, not impressed with Switzerland. Um, Croatia, I feel, are not qualifying either. I mean, I like the fact that they've got rid of that dancer that was just doing gymnastics on the stage, didn't fit the song at all. Because now they've got 3 contemporary dancers, but there's just something about it doesn't stand out for me. Um, I'm kind of concerned about Lithuania as well because I like the song. I like it. I think it's good. It's grown on me a lot. But there's just something about it. I'm starting to think, is it going to get lost in the crowd and kind of forgotten about and won't be enough to get through? Maybe. Because lots of people are now talking about Armenia. But I've got a bit of a controversial opinion about Armenia's staging because to me it looks like, I mean, I like the fact she's in a room, you know, you've got a bedroom. I like that setting, but the paper, it's meant to be post-it notes around the room, but it looks like toilet paper. It just looks, on first impression, like toilet paper or tissue paper, especially wrapped around the microphone as well. Like, I don't know about that. I'm thinking, oh, is it a bit much? Is it not going to work out? Is it going to be like Ireland from last year with Leslie Roy? Hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, this could be a bit of an unpopular opinion because I know that people seem to be really impressed with Armenia's staging, but I'm kind of like holding back, thinking we haven't actually seen like the camera angles yet, so that is something to watch out for. Maybe it will all come together perfectly fine with that. But for now, I have my reservations, definitely. I'm not too sure. Something I'm disappointed with, and something that I'm thinking now might not qualify, is Moldova. So the song for me is like a guilty pleasure. Like I actually really like it. I think it's really fun. I enjoy it. Um, but the staging, it looks a bit much. It looks a bit messy, almost like just too over the top. I mean, I don't know what I expected really, but it just looks a bit all over the place, a bit much. And yeah, just too messy. I don't know. They said that they would have some kind of train on stage or something to do with trains. It doesn't look like they have. Um, yeah, but my hopes now have kind of faded away a little bit because I do really enjoy the song, but now I'm thinking, I don't know if this will go through. So those are the ones that I'm kind of either disappointed with or kind of worried about, concerned about how well they could do with that. And then there's things in between I haven't mentioned. I haven't mentioned Albania, one of my favourite songs of the whole year in general. Um, I know there's been a lot of controversy and talk about this because apparently she has to change her choreography, or she's been asked by the EBU to change the choreography because it was too provocative. Um, so yeah, lots of concern about that. Um, from what we have seen, it's not what I expected. The pink hair, didn't expect that. I imagined what I usually imagine and what we usually get from Albania, which is the red and black colours. Because Albania usually do give us their dark red and black colours for their staging, and it usually works really well. And this is what I expected would happen with Secret as well. I thought we would get more darkness, kind of like the national final, more dark or black and red. So the pink hair is not what I expected. Um, but I hope the rest of it is good. I hope they can sort the choreography out, even though it's a shame that they have to, because, to be told that now when you've just arrived at the rehearsals, like, oh no, we don't like it, can you change it like in a few days? It just seemed a bit unfair. But I hope it still turns out to be good, which I hope it will, because I love the song. So I think that's everything I was going to mention. I know I missed out Denmark, Slovenia. Um, yeah, I'm just talking about the ones that I have something to say about, which is, well, most of them. Semi-final one is such a tough, competitive semi-final. It really is. Um, so yeah, if there's anything that I haven't mentioned that you'd like to know, then feel free to ask me in the comments below. If I had to pick one favourite from what we've seen so far from semi-final one, then my number one standout would be Greece, probably, and Ukraine and Norway as well. But yeah, it's looking very good so far. So let me know what you think, who your favourites are from the staging information that we have. Anything that has made you think, oh, that might actually not qualify now, or maybe the opposite. Maybe you think something will go through that you didn't think would before. Let me know. Thank you for listening, and I will do the same thing for semi-final 2. So I shall see you then. Bye.